Greetings, Captains. William Shat here, and today I am bringing you a video about the Command Bridge Officers. Yeah, and I thought I would do this video now, and actually, if you're wondering, where is the Terrace video, the fourth and final new revamp to the Romulan Mystery arc, there are some bugs with it right now. So that is why you're seeing this before you're seeing that. And as soon as they fix it, and as soon as humanly possible for myself, I will do a playthrough of that video. Just right now, I didn't want to put it out there and then have to do a redo of it and put it out there as well. But there are some bugs with that mission right now, so that's why we're going over this right now. And I wanted to go over this article because there's a lot to it, and if you don't read it really closely, you kind of miss a lot of stuff. And I'm kind of break down what the article kind of goes over, and basically the abilities, and kind of evaluate whether or not they're worth picking up, and give you my take on all of this. So the article starts off. There's a constant need for sturdy shoulders to carry the burden of responsibility in trying times. Command Officer Specialization exemplifies those few proud officers who are willing and able to accept such a burden and lead their allies to victory. Training to become a command officer is an important step in the career of many fine officers, but not one to be taken lightly. The abilities and maneuvers available to command officers include tactics for many different situations, but remain primarily intended to improve the effectiveness of one's team in combat scenarios. For those that focus on coordinated multi-captain scenarios, however, these new abilities are likely to be desirable additions to their strategic arsenals. So, basically, what they're trying to do here, at least this is I'm inferring, basically what I think Cryptic is trying to do here is bring back more of a team mentality to the game. When the game first came out, there was the idea of tanks, healers, DPSers, and now it's pretty much just gone the way of DPSers. I don't know that this is really going to bring it back, or if it can bring it back. We'll evaluate that in all of the skills below. I like the idea that they're trying. That's kind of nice. I like the fact that they're giving it a shot. But the article continues on. Training a command officer. As a feature of our bridge officer training revamp, existing bridge officers will now have the ability to train in any specialization, and even have multiple specializations, though only one may be active at a time. So, really quick interrupt here. Going back to what the trees look like, there are going to be 4 specializations now. One primary one and one I'm sorry. There are going to be 4 trees, 2 primaries and 2 minors. So when you pick if you pick command, you can't have your intelligence abilities on. If you pick pilot as the minor, you can't have your commando on. So vice versa, same kind of thing going forward there. The availability of new bridge officers that have command officer training will be limited, so players will need to advance in the command officer captain specialization in order to train their existing bridge officers to make use of command officer abilities. Okay. Once granted, the command officer specialization training manuals for rank 1 and 2 abilities will be available for purchase from any bridge officer training store. Rank 3 abilities can be unlocked by advancing in the command officer captain specialization tree, and then created using new officer training R&D school. So I'll tell you right now, this whole rank 3 right here, this does not unlock until you have gained 26 points in the new command officer tree. So get ready to grind. It's going to take a long time. Unless you guys found some new grinding things out there, but I kind of doubt it. It kind of sucks. It is what it is. I wish it were different. I wish we could. I don't know. What do you guys think of that? I know a good majority of people think of it. I think they're a little bit more. I think they're a little annoyed enough as it is. I don't think that we need more grinding. I think that experience should not be coming as difficult as it does. So I don't see it for changing this anytime soon. But let's continue on with the article. There are some interesting abilities, so we'll look at that in just a minute. Command officer abilities. Command officers represent leaders, tacticians, and strategists. Officers that take command of the battlefield and coordinate efforts to outmaneuver their enemies. They may also be called on to make difficult decisions in the heat of the moment, accepting the costs that come with waging war. The following section will give a brief explanation. Okay, so we'll just go straight on into what the new abilities are. We start off with ground. It says the first one is coordinate bombing strike. Create a series of spatial charges in a straight line between you and your foe. After a short delay, they will detonate sequentially, dealing moderate kinetic damage to any foes in the blast zone. We'll have to see how that works. I don't see it being a highly touted one, so I can't see the situation where maybe Klingons or Borg moving slow and you can kind of predict they're going to be where you're going to be landing these things. But we'll see. Delegated devastation. You grant your entire team a damage bonus with energy weapons at the cost of setting your own weapons offline for several seconds. This might be good for like a science officer that is doing healing, or possibly even. And like I said, here's the other thing. Can anybody pick these up? I imagine anybody should be able to pick these up. They shouldn't have to be a particular class. So this might be good for, let's say, if you're an engineer or a science officer and you're doing other things and you don't need your weapons because you're either planting bombs or turrets or healing or doing whatever. So this one might be used quite a bit. Depends on what that bonus that it gives will be. Hammer and anvil. Issue a team-wide offensive command to crush the enemy from both sides. Allies that strike any enemy from behind will gain a substantial bonus to their flanking damage, while those that strike an enemy's front will receive increased damage resistance. I can't see anybody really using that, but no comment. Overwhelm shields. Mark a targeted foe to coordinate your allies' weapon fire. All energy weapon attacks made against the marked foe will drain additional shields and restore a small amount of shields to the ally that fired upon them. I could definitely see this being used by a healer, a science officer. That's one thing as kind of a shield heal to supplement their health healing. Return fire. Instantly remove a portion of any remaining cooldowns on all teammates, while also granting a small damage boost. The severity of both of these effects is higher the more dire the situation is for each teammate. The lower their current health, the higher the benefit they gain. Similar thing they kind of did with some of the abilities, or traits rather, that came from Dyson, where the lower your health, the higher the benefit, the resist rate, whatever, so on and so forth. So that might work similar to that, obviously. Could be used. We'll have to see how it all shakes out. Sanctuary. Create a perfect respite on the battlefield for a short amount of time. It'd be nice to see what the numbers are on this. So that's going to be the real thing. Creates a respite for a short amount of time. While within the sanctuary field, you gain perfect stealth and heal over time effect. However, all abilities are disabled and your run speed is decreased. The field is large enough for allies to gain these same benefits if they are close to your position. Possibly. I'm not sure if this will be used at all. We'll see. Shock and awe. Mark a targeted foe to coordinate your allies' weapon fire while marked. Damage resistance of the foe is reduced. If sufficient damage is dealt while the mark is active, the target will become disabled and incapable of acting. Strategic analysis. Requires combat. Grants a team-wide damage bonus and damage resist increase that continues to increase the longer the command officer remains in combat. Higher ranks of this ability do not scale faster, but have longer maximum durations, and therefore higher maximum boosts. The effect ends immediately if combat ends. So let's see. Take cover. Issue a team-wide command to crouch. Any teammate that follows your orders will gain a large damage resistance boost, as well as immunity to all control effects and a heal over time. Those that do not crouch will only receive damage resist. I probably see no one using this. How often would people listen to you when you say crouch? Probably not that many. I always forget to crouch, so that's why I think this might not be the greatest. If you have people on TeamSpeak or Ventrilo, maybe that'll work out. We'll see. Timely intervention. Instantly rescue a nearby teammate from imminent defeat. Activate this ability to initiate a site-to-site transport to the nearest ally that is below 50% and render them untargetable for a short period of time. This ability may only be activated if a nearby ally will be saved by it. Note, ally becomes invalid target for this ability for a period of time after being saved by it, preventing chain immunity. Okay. Onto the space. Space is probably the one that I would have a better working knowledge of. I like space battles better anyway. Let's see, the first one we have is ambush marker. Cannot be used while in combat. Place an ambush marker at your current location, which will grant a high stealth value to all nearby allies. If any foe is drawn to the location the ambush triggers, granting all nearby allies a large damage bonus and summoning additional attack craft to pummel the unsuspecting enemy. This will probably be used a little bit more in PvP. Actually, a lot of these, as I go forward, will probably be used in PvP. Some of which may be used in PvEs. We'll see. Call emergency artillery. Even the most healthy, battle-hardened commander can occasionally use the support of heavy-hitting bombers. Use this ability to summon a set of 3 attack craft that are equipped with heavy-hitting kinetic mortar barrages. These ships will warp in at your current location and follow a trajectory toward your targeted foe, dealing periodic kinetic damage to any foes along that path before warping out. Depending on the severity of this one, this could be seeing a lot of action. If it's got like a 30-second or 45-second cooldown, definitely. And as long as it doesn't share any cooldowns with any of your other call for allied support or fleet support or what is it, Nimbus Raiders. And we'll have to see how this looks, but I could definitely see this one being used quite a bit. Currently, right now, and I'm going over this really quick, and I think I talked about it in one of my other videos. These abilities are not active, so they do not work right now, even on Trouble. So, next one, concentrate firepower. Mark a targeted foe to coordinate your allies' weapon fire. All torpedo attacks made against the marked foe deal additional kinetic damage that bypass shields. Striking the marked target also has a chance of granting a free high-yield torpedo mode to the attacking ally. So this one is going to be really, really good if all of your allies and all the people in your group are on the same page. This is going to make certain PvP groups even more deadly, I imagine, if they figure out how to coordinate all of these new abilities to be very min-max oriented. They could do a hell of a ton of damage and really mess people's day up. Needs of the many. Your current shield capacity is instantly set to 0. All teammates will in return gain an amount of secondary shielding that scales proportionately to the percentage of shields that were sacrificed. I could definitely see myself using this one. As I'm an engineer, I could probably see myself popping this when my other teammates are having some shield issues, And even if I was taking a lot of damage, I could still see myself popping it, and then just after that hitting shield polarity or reverse shield polarity, getting my shields right back up anyway. As long as I say sets my shield capacity to 0, doesn't say sets my shield offline. So conceivably, I could go from 100% or 80% or whatever down to 0, hit reverse shield polarity, and right back up to 100% on any shield facing being hit. So this one could definitely be good for PvE for sure. I do more PvE than PvP, so I could definitely see this one being a nice little use as a tank. If they don't even really exist anymore, so whatever. Overwhelm emitters. Mark a targeted foe. To coordinate your allies' weapon fire, all energy weapon attacks made against the marked foe will drain additional shields and restore a small amount of shields to the ally that fired upon them. So same thing is the overwhelm shields up here, is down here in space as well. So possibly, I'm not sure. We'll see. A lot of and again, this is gonna be a repeating theme, and I think it's the idea of Cryptic is that it's a repeating theme, is that a lot of these abilities are based on teamwork. The ones that I like to see are the ones where that gets value by myself. If you get into a bad group, let's say, where you're not like, oh my god, these abilities are just not doing anything for me because my allies aren't working with me. So those are the ones that are probably going to be more prevalently being seen, except for in those very specific cases where you never run without a team. You always run with a team, and you run with a team that knows exactly what they need to do and when they need to do it, and we'll see how powerful these skills are. So, let's see the next one, Phalanx Formation. By following a series of markers that will be created relative to your current location, you and all allies that follow will gain increasingly impressive offensive bonuses to aid you in combat. Each of the 3 markers successfully navigated grants larger boosts, and all of them stack with one another. Again, this is very team oriented, and it depends on how big these markers are. How many kilometers do we have? Is it, it looks like it'll probably be circular, then you have to kind of fly through these rings, I imagine. And how far apart will they be spaced? And again, it's also going to depend on whether you have a team that is going to follow these markers. Hopefully they're big enough and visually queuing enough so that, oh, let's go through this, I'm going to get a damage bonus, and yeah, let's do it. So we'll see about this one. I'm definitely going to try it out. I want to see what it does for everyone. So Rally Point. Place a holographic marker near the targeted foe's location. Any allies or self that enter the designated rally point will instantly have a large portion of their hull and shields restored. Each ally may only benefit from a single rally point once. I imagine in some cooled down period of time. Rally points, sad as this is, rally points might be good teaching tools. And in certain missions where everyone's taking a lot of damage, I don't know. Rally points will definitely be good teaching tools for when like, okay, I'm going to take out my teaching ship. I don't know. Or you're bringing in new players in the fleet. So let's do some rally points. Let's use the Phalanx formation as well. And it'll kind of, it's going to be that's actually going to be a great tools. And if you think about it, it's pretty much the tool of what a commanding officer would want to have. So, I know that sounds a little silly in the grand scheme of things, but if you think about it, it's pretty good if you're one of those folks that likes to go out there and teach people. So, reroute power from life support. While active, all 4 ship subsystems will gradually gain additional current power, and you will be immune to all effects that would knock subsystems offline. However, your crew will also gradually become disabled, and the cooldown of all abilities will suffer greater and greater penalties the longer this ability remains active. It can be turned off at will, only for use in the most dire of circumstances. Ooh. I have a feeling that a lot of tactical players will be using this and just having it at almost a constant uptime. I don't know. See, well, oh, well, not with the cooldown of all abilities, I suppose, but I guess that's a good trade-off. They'll have to see the numbers on this to really get an idea of how good this is or how meh it is. Subspace interception. Instantly rescue a nearby allied starship from imminent defeat. Same thing as, was it timely intervention? For the most part, it sounds like. Activate this ability to initiate a quick warp jump to the nearest ally that is below 50% hull. Render them untargetable for a short period of time. This ability may only be activated. Nearby ally will be saved by it. Note ally becomes invalid. I don't know. I'm not sure if people will use this or not. I could see somebody trying it out as a tank. I don't know. I'm kind of like no opinion on that one really. Suppression barrage. Enhance your weapons to pass a debilitating effect onto any foe you fire upon. Enemies that are suppressed will have their movement and damage reduced, while also becoming incapable of targeting any torpedoes, mines, or fighters that are allied with the user of suppression barrage. So you won't be able to. So if I use this on enemy ship won't be able to target me with any torpedoes, mines, or fighters. So that is actually kind of like that as far as not really a threat dump necessarily, but a way to get out of a sticky situation, especially when you're dealing with, let's say, like a big dreadnought or something. I don't know. We'll have to see what it looks like actually out on the battlefield. And here's the breakdown of what each of the abilities is trainable in. So the first part is all ensign level to lieutenant commander, and then, so on and so forth. So anything down in this column, rank 3, will not be trainable until you gain 26 points in Command Specialization. So if you're really dead set on you want one of these rank 3 abilities, I'd say any experience you gain from here on out, make sure you don't spend it on any of your other talent trees, and just kind of hold on to them until we come to this point. Or you might, can we reset? I'm not even sure. I haven't really thought about it because I know we just gain as many as there are trees available. But I know it's going to take a long time. I know a certain amount of people will probably be a little upset about this. Or extremely upset about this. I'm a little perturbed. I'm in a consistent state of annoyed or annoyance by the fact that our experience gains, our specialization gains are so slow. That's really annoying to me, and I don't see it changing anytime soon. Because and I understand why. It's good for cryptics metrics. Makes sense for them to make it take so long. On the other side of that, maybe it isn't such a good idea though, because some people get frustrated and they're just like, forget it. I'm not gonna grind this. I'm not going to. And some people maybe just say, I'm gonna leave the game. So you gotta kind of strike that balance where it's definitely fun to play and it's fun to grind, and there are such things as a fun grind. And when it's fun to grind, it isn't really a grind then. So, there's other games out there where gaining a level doesn't take that long. And you're willing to continue to play and play and play and play and play. And really doesn't matter because you're having fun and it's not like being punishing to you. So, I don't see it changing, but I wish they would. The good news is that you can get every ability in one form or another, either at rank 1, 2, or, either at rank 1 or 2. Some of the ones up here in Lieutenant Commander that are rank 3, you will not be able to get until you get, like I said, until you get that 26. So there's a bit of a Q&A here if you want to stop and read it. I am not. I think I went over my portion of what is Q&A for me. If you have any questions, though, leave some below in the comment section. I'll be glad to try and answer them for you related to these new command abilities. And as always, again, sorry this wasn't really an in-game or let's play necessarily, more of an evaluate Star Trek Online. But as always, thank you all for watching, and we will see you back here next time.